to Strange Monkey Reviews, horror freaks. I'm here to talk about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer film. Who was expecting this? Who? Some people did, some people didn't. I'll tell you something. Personally, I wanted this more than anybody. I really did. For years. I was like, where's that third movie? Where's that third movie? We got a third movie. It was called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. But guess what? Great title, stupid movie. Just ridiculous. And I will never forgive them for that. They tried to do something interesting, make it more supernatural. But guess what? It didn't make any sense. I could sit here and tear that movie apart all day long. But I'm not here for that. So now we have a fourth film in the franchise. So we're kicking that third movie out of the way and be like, listen, this is what they call a legacy sequel. This is the new third film. I've been saying it for years. Bring some new characters in, bring some familiar characters in, you know, the as they say, requel, and let's get this going again. So here we are. What did I think about it? I don't want to dive deep into the spoilers. I really don't. So let's go in the more positive route, because someone's going to join me very soon to talk about the more of the negatives. But let's get started. All right, so the first positive thing is basically a modern twist on a classic. It brings a fresh, updated approach while still honoring the original's core themes and guilt, secrecy, and consequences. Fans of the 1997 version will notice subtle nods, but it stands on its own for new audiences. To a point, I will say. The subtle nods were not that bad, but after a while, I feel like, less is more. Being nice here. You also have the atmospheric suspense. The movie leans heavily into eerie visuals, tense pacing, and unsettling moments, creating a solid slasher horror atmosphere that keeps you guessing. I feel like every I Know What You Did Last Summer film has done a good job with that. They've tried their best to keep that suspense going, and then it just catches you off guard. The cast brings strong performances with more depth and emotional stakes than expected, helping make the characters feel more grounded and relatable. I do think that the filmmakers tried their best to really make us care about these characters. And I think the first half of the film was really doing a great job with that, but then somewhere along the way things got a little rocky. Speaking of that, let me pass this one over to my friend Pettywise The Venting Clown.
I'm so happy to be back, horror freaks, to tell you what I felt about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, me and Strange Monkey have very different opinions about this movie. I tend to be a little more critical, especially with these legacy sequels, reboots, sequels. I don't even know what you can call this one, because it's technically a sequel that features legacy characters, but it almost reboots the original. Except for the kills and stuff like that. The story is exactly the same. And I think because I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream came out around the same time, they were almost kind of two sides of the same coin. However, rebooting the Scream franchise was successful up until recently with all the controversy, but that's another story. But I think I Know What You Did Last Summer is falling below water, in my opinion. Almost the same stuff happens in this movie that happens in the 1997 version. The teens are targeted for practically the same thing. They could have changed that, in my opinion. My other gripes is that not every character has to be liked, but these are not characters that I give any shit about. There's maybe two that I want to see live, and the rest I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Kill them all. I don't care. I think my biggest gripe is, and I will keep this spoiler free, I think they tarnish certain legacy characters. I don't like the creative choices that were made regarding these characters. And I also think rehashing the fisherman and a slicker makes no sense. This is supposed to be 30 years later. I get it, it's in the same town as the first one, but the killer being the exact same caricature makes no sense to me when the group being targeted has no connection to the legacy characters, in my opinion. There's maybe one small connection, but not enough for the killer to be the exact same moniker of character. Those are my personal opinions. I could go further into this, and if you'd like me to, I am going to post a spoiler full review over on my TikTok. You can find me at SpookyPigeon23. Thanks again for having me, Strange Monkey. Can't wait to do this again.
Okay, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We said what we said about this new I Know What You Did Last Summer. What's the verdict? I Know What You Did Last Summer is alright. I really hoped that it would be as strong as the first one, but it's still worth checking out, in my opinion. Absolutely. If you're a fan of the first two and maybe the third one, then yes, check this one out. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I guess it depends on how much money this film makes in theaters, but yeah, I would say, give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's worth checking out. Anyway, I'd like to thank Pettywise for being a part of this. You'll be seeing more of her soon. So, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, click on that notification bell so you won't miss any of the future videos. And if you like this one, check out some of my previous videos, especially if you're new to the channel. Follow me on all of my social media platforms and have yourselves a good fright. Na 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 na.